beautiful Virgos, and welcome to your horoscope for May of 2021, where Virgo, this month, we've got your ruling planet Mercury moving into the energy of Gemini. And while that's not your sign, it's still a sister sign, and Mercury feels like he's in full power, which tends to actually feel really good to you as well. So we've got kind of that going on. But then at the end of the month, that same ruling planet is going to take a retrograde. And so we'll see a reviewing going on, a reviewing of your mind, reviewing of things that you were thinking. You will certainly be going back over this whole career business and whatever it is that you're doing with that. Now, we've also got Jupiter stepping into the energy of Pisces, giving us a little preview of what we're going to work on in 2022, but we'll get a snippet and a sneak peek of that this month. We've got Saturn stepping into retrograde as well. So this means that the retrograde activity is starting to increase, which means that our need to push forward so hard is going to decrease. We're actually coming into the portion of the year where all of these things we've started, all of these things that have come into our lives, we have to stop, get honest, and have a review of them so that we can make sure that there's no cracks in the cement, tidy up, and release what doesn't need to be there. Now, we've also got a lunar eclipse happening this month, which is going to bring a shakeup to the fourth house zone. Some of you may decide that you're going to move, you're quitting your job. There's just a lot going on the home front. So we will talk about all of it as we make our way through the dates in this forecast, okay? All right, Virgos, right at the beginning of the month on the 3rd, we see Mercury moving into the energy of Gemini, lighting up your 10th house space. But on the 8th, we will also see Venus moving into the energy of Gemini. So now both of them lighting up this Gemini energy and lighting up the midheaven, tip top of your chart. This is about work. This is about career. This is about your reputation, what you're known as, what you feel like people should know you as. This is a big portion of the mental life, but it also has so much to do, Virgo, with work. In the energy of Gemini, both of these planets are actually working in a lot of full power. They're actually quite happy to be working in this Gemini energy. So networking, contracts, connections, communications at work, you could find that all sorts of conversations around your working life become really very busy. Now, one of the things I will tell you, Virgo, if you do, or if you did, or if you find joy in any version of writing or speaking for work, I would tell you to take a lot of advantage of that and see where you can work that in, or use this energy to amp up that area of your life if this is what you're already doing. But certainly the conversations around work may be really pronounced as you're coming into this month. And I think that some of it comes from what is going on at home. There's this balance of work and home as we're going to eclipse here this year, as well as the nodes are. Some of the things you used to think were really important about work have changed because circumstances have changed at home, and you maybe are having to reevaluate what that means in your life. On the 11th, we've got a new moon happening at 21 degrees of Taurus, and this will light up your 9th house space. Publishing, marketing, broadcasting, faith, higher education, international travel, all of these ideals live up in the 9th house space for you. Now, we're planting the seeds of intention in a fellow earth energy, so you can kind of vibe into this. Not to mention that this particular moon has a nice connection with Neptune and Pluto. So transforming and asking for a fresh, grounded, valuable perspective for you in this area and changing into the ideals that you have for yourself in this area, I think is really a brilliant opportunity. But remember, we plant our seeds of intention in the dark, in the soil of magic. So you don't actually know what's going to blossom out of here, but that's why I think it's so gorgeous too that it's happening in your 9th house space, because you really have to push to have faith. And I also think that this moon will show you if the beliefs that you have about what makes you valuable, or what is valuable, Taurus, in your life, you're going to see if your belief in those things is something strong enough for you to stand on. If not, that Neptune-Pluto interaction, I think, sweeps the ground right out from underneath you. And that sounds scary, and it doesn't need to be. It is an indicator that there is foundation, that needs to be developed so that you can have something really solid, really valuable. So there's a wide range of opportunities to grow and really create something that has long-term success, I think, with the newness of this moon. So watch what's developing here for you over about the next 4 weeks, okay? On the 13th, we see Jupiter move into the energy of Pisces. This is right across the street in your 7th house energy. So from May until July this year, pay attention to what's happening in your relationship zone. Jupiter comes to expand this area. It pushes your horizons, takes you higher so that you can develop more wisdom. But wisdom is a really interesting concept here because Jupiter is a benefic. Typically when he comes by, he's bringing a whole lot of benefit, but his real benefit is wisdom. What do you need to learn in your relationships? Jupiter's energy is going to show you. It's in Pisces. It's boundless. There could be things that come up in your relationships, Virgo, that you just can't see. Pisces, you can't see it clearly. Maybe you need a teacher, a spiritual teacher, to help you see and to learn and to identify these lessons. But this could also be a beautiful energy of forgiveness, of creativity, of tapping into what it is that you really want to be doing and who you really want to be, ideally in relationships. This will all very much so depend on how is this already manifesting in your life. So pay attention between May and July. What comes up for you in your relationships? And it's new. It would likely be something new that is being brought to the surface. You'll get a treat of it, and then that's what you will work on developing and growing as you get to 2022, okay? On the 20th, the sun enters into the energy of Gemini. So now we've got Mercury, we've got Venus, we've got the nodes. They're all happening in Gemini energy, and the sun's bringing light, heat, life, and vitality. So things around career are moving. You've got a spotlight on work. You've got a spotlight on your reputation. Lots of communication happening. At work, you could just find that there are so many emails. You're like, oh my God, I've had to create like 5 folders today. What is going on? Maybe you're networking and you're renegotiating, Gemini, a contract around work, something like that. But you can be mindful that the sun is going to have this area, or at least your thinking in this area, pretty busy for the next month, okay? On the 23rd, Saturn hits its retrograde in the energy of Aquarius, which lights up your 6th house space. Now, Saturn's going to begin this retrograde at 13 degrees of Aquarius. It'll come out of retrograde in October at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So, from what entered into your life in December of 2020 all the way until now, Saturn has been showing you in a very Aquarian way in your daily routines, in your house, in your mental health, in your wellness, in being of service to other people. Saturn has been showing you what's not working, where you need to innovate, because ultimately Saturn is coming to raise you, to take you to that next level, to mature you enough that you can create a solid foundation here for yourself. But the first thing that Saturn does when it comes into a new sign is shows us our signs of immaturity. And that's not to say that you're an immature person. It shows us for every single one of us human beings where we've just got those cracks in the cement and we need to fill them in, usually take some kind of innovative Aquarius action to grow here. And it's also in the energy of Aquarius. Where have you seen, Virgo, over this last handful of months that you really need a tribe of people? You really need a very specific grouping of people to help you grow and mature. Aquarius is a social energy, okay? Now on the 26th, we've got this full moon happening at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is going to light up your 4th house space. Now the axis of your 10th house, 4th house, home and career is just so activated this year. But with this eclipse, an eclipse is a blotting out, a resetting of our emotions, a resetting of our home lives in this particular case. And that full moon says something has to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. We've got to make some kind of change here. An eclipse, especially a total, is typically not very subtle. Okay, so the changes that you need to make will become apparent. I don't think you have to search for them at all. Home, family, real estate, property, your connections and attitudes to women, to things about the past, mothering, nurturing, food, any of these kinds of things will become available and in your attention. And what this moon is essentially asking us to do in Sagittarius is, again, what are the old ideas that are governing this area of your life because they may not be sufficient enough for you to be moving forward. Are your old ideas about what your house needs to look like, your home, what makes you feel secure, are your old ideas actually killing you? Are they keeping you from prospering and growing? And that may be something that you are called to look at this particular moon, because it does square its ruling planet Jupiter. So you're trying to expand out, or you're trying to become willing to detach from something, but you feel stuck. You feel squared because you can't actually see it. It's like, I can't see this for what it is. Just be willing to be shown if you need help in this particular area. Now, something else that I think it could be happening here is you could be quitting that job. You could be like, you know what? No, I want to stay at home. I don't want to work for a company anymore, or I want to work for my own company at home. Maybe it's even, I got to relocate. I've got to relocate. So some of you in this next 6 months, we could see that this eclipse brings enough of a shakeup that it creates a relocation or a fundamental changing of your housing situation, okay? On the 29th, as we close out this month, we're going to see Mercury step into its retrograde in Gemini. Mercury is going to go retrograde at 24 degrees of Gemini in that 10th house. So everything that has come into your consideration box around work, around career, around home and reputation, this is what you will review during this Mercury retrograde. Now, again, from the 23rd on, Virgo, slow down so that you can give focus and attention to these areas that are being brought to your table. Not to mention, it is your ruling planet, so we tend to feel a little bit of the slowdown. If you have Mercury retrograde natally, this may actually feel phenomenal to you. You might be like, I'm living my best life, Storms, so if that's what's going on for you, just enjoy it. But remember that the retrograde in general is offering us an opportunity to re-engage, review, reinvite, relax, don't struggle, to do all of these kinds of things. So they could be an opportunity for you to just get your mind sorted on what you've already been looking at in this area, and ultimately come out the other side making some decisions that are right for you and your family and your tribe and your world. All right, Virgo, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful month. I hope that wherever you are at, you're experiencing good weather, good times, and just all the goods, okay? All right, my friends, I'll see you next month. Bye, Virgo.